here's the equipment that you need for building your base model. So I'll start over here. This is called the hub. It has two halves with about a dozen holes in it. This can tighten this, right, so they don't get loose. This here is a stand that, a pole that fits like that into this base. So these legs come off. You may get the legs separate from this part, so you'll have to put those together. There's a wooden spool. There's, this is called a hex shaft. This is a hex lock. This is a little screw. You're gonna need about 4 of these. This is called the nacelle. These are 2 halves of the nacelle. You're gonna need a screwdriver, a cup, string, 3 of these short dowels, 3 of these pieces of cardboard, and that should get you everything that you need. You can take the base here and just attach this pole to it, and then you could set this aside for using later. The first thing you're going to need to do is put together the nacelle. So if you put the 2 halves together here, like that, you'll see there's holes, one here, and then there's another one there, and if you flip it over, you'll see on the other side there's one there and then one on there. So you're going to need to do probably 3 of those. You don't have to do all 4, but you can if you want. So you're going to take your screwdriver, and you're going to take the screw, and you're going to screw that in, and then just repeat that for the other hole so that it holds this piece steady. Once you're done with that, you'll see there's 2 screws on this side. I just put in one. I didn't bother with this one down here because it's not going to fall apart. You'll notice this hole at the top there. It goes straight through to the other side. That's where this hex shaft goes. So you're going to put this in here and thread that through. Okay, so that's how that goes in. On the other side of the hex shaft, you're going to want to put the spool. Into the spool, you're going to press the hex lock in one side. And this hex lock, you see how it's shaped? That's going to fit on the end of this piece here. So when this goes on, you're going to have to, you need 2 hands for it, but you're going to put it onto the hex shaft. You want to leave a little bit of room, but not too much, so that it can move, but not, you don't want it on so tight that it can't rotate, but not so loose that it wobbles too much. You're going to take your cardboard, and you're going to take a ruler, and you're going to mark it in half. I think this is 3 inches across. So make sure you very carefully mark the middle of this with a pen, and then you can draw a vertical line like that right up through that part. Once you've done that, you can go get hot glue, and you're going to glue this down. Make sure it's exactly in the middle, and when you're done gluing it, it's going to look like this. See the line I did there? So you're going to do that for all 3. So when you're done, you'll have 3 blades attached to these wooden dowels. Once you've tightened the hub, right, these should not fall off. So the next thing to do is to put this on to the nacelle. So this part here snaps in to this shape here. You see those two little divots there? It fits on there. Once you have this fitted in, right, it's going to be pretty secure, but you don't want this flying off when you start this moving. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a screw, one of those same little screws that we used before, and it's going to fit into this hole. Now yours might already be attached there, so all you'll have to do is tighten it. So here it is. So you're gonna have the screw and we're gonna fit it onto here. So I will show you what that looks like. So I'm just tightening this screw here. Don't over tighten it, just get it just snug enough. It's not gonna go all the way in, but what you'll feel is you won't be able to remove the hub. So once it's tight enough, when you pull on this, you shouldn't be able to take this off of here. Once you've got your string attached at your spool, you can tie the other end of this string to your cup. When you tie this end to the cup, you want it to be centered, right? This is a little twisted around, but what I did was there's holes in the side of the cup, one there and one there, and it's okay if you thread it through. Once it's threaded through, there'll be a piece of string across it, and then you want to tie it off here. You want to make sure you leave as much of the string available as possible. You can also take two separate pieces and you can put one here in this hole and put another one in this hole and then join them together a little bit higher up and then tie them to the third string. It may make it a little too long, but that's fine. You can always wrap it up. So you have some choices with that. Once you are finished with your attachment of the cup, the whole nacelle here is going to mount up onto your base with the pole that's going to hold it up. And at this point, you can just test and make sure that it functions. You can do by hand. You can just move this around, and you should see that your cup goes up as your windmill turns, right? Even though you're doing it by hand, and you should find it rise, and you can let it fall slowly down. It should unwind pretty easily. Make sure everything is moving slowly. Make sure there's no instability. Once you're done with that, then you can test it out with a fan and get some data.